All right, about that time again. Episode 2, King's Eye View. I figured I should talk about the main things, talk about every sport. Kobe, Kobe. Kobe's clear for practice. That's good news. I was reading about it, and they were talking about him being ready for the training camp in Hawaii. And I had a little fan moment. I was like, oh, you're already in the NBA, making all this money, but you get to go to Hawaii to start training camp. Cool. That's awesome. Kobe's cleared. Kobe's able to participate in practice. That's good news for Lakers fans. We'll see how the season goes. Um, I figured I'd go over the football scores just in case you've been living under a rock and somehow you found this to be the way you found football scores. Um, First game of the week, the Patriots beat the Steelers 28-21. There was some controversy about the headsets, but Mike Tomlin. The thing about it is, in my opinion, obviously I'm going to defend my team. You can't say that it's something that always happens when you come to play against the Patriots. You can't say it's always something that happens when you. It's always something, but for one, you don't have a clean record. You try to trip a player in the middle of a game. Two, if it always happens, why are we just now hearing you say something about it? And three, I'm not sure if this is fact or not, but I've heard people say that the NFL handles the headsets, not the home team. Any which way, you lost. Get over it. You let it get in your head, and you lost. Patriots won 28-21. The Packers won 31-23. The Chiefs beat the Texans 27-20. The Texans quarterback situation is going to be very interesting to see this year. Brian Hoyer and Ryan Mallett, both former Patriots backups. Interesting to see them competing, but it's going back and forth, and I think it will be going back and forth all year. The Jets beat the Browns 31-10. The Browns quarterback situation is going to be very interesting. I personally think Manziel is going to get it together and have a solid year, but Josh McCown might come back from his injury and go ahead and keep his spot. Have to wait and see. Colts get off to a bad start. They lose to the Bills 27-14. The Bills are a team to watch. I'm afraid for my Patriots. The Bills and the Dolphins are teams to watch for this year. Speaking of the Dolphins won 17-10 against the Redskins. Real quick on the Redskins, they're terrible. When Jay Gruden, the Redskins coach, was hired, he was said to be a quarterback guru. Yet none of the three different quarterbacks that have played under him so far has really grown at all. So if you want to talk to me about RG3, Kirk Cousins, I think it's Jay Gruden is the problem. Their whole front office is terrible, but Jay Gruden is awful. The Panthers won 20-9. The Rams beat the Seahawks 34-31 in overtime. That was a very good game. The Rams are also a team to watch for. The Seahawks don't have it easy this year. The 49ers could sneak a couple wins against them. The Rams and the Cardinals are not going to be easy wins by any means necessary. Speaking of the Cardinals won against the Saints 31-19. The Saints are going to have a struggle of a year. It's that simple. The Chargers beat the Lions 33-28. The Chargers offense is pretty good. I think they'll have a good year. The Titans destroyed the Buccaneers 42-18. Woo. If Mariota getting off to a good start for his career, the Bucs are starting as to be expected. They are who we thought they were. And then Mariota gets to go against the Browns next week, so we'll see if this amazing start even comes to an end. The Bengals beat the Raiders 33-13. My majority of my family is Raiders fans, so they are not happy, especially with Derek Carr getting hurt. But you're the Raiders. Sorry. The Broncos beat the Ravens 19-13. So that game I actually watched, and it was a pretty good game. It was pure defense. It was pure defense, and it was a really good game to watch. The Cowboys beat the Giants 27-26. Ooh, that ending was something. As a Giants fan, you were hurt, but you weren't surprised. The Falcons beat the Eagles 26-24. The Eagles tried to give a fight, but they didn't. They couldn't get it done. The 49ers won 20-3. The 49ers coming off on a win. It's supposed to be a bad year for them, but who knows? Adrian Peterson's first game back, he didn't really look that good. And starting for week 2 of the NFL, the Broncos beat the Chiefs 31-24. I just want to point out, I kind of called that. I had seen the Chiefs tie up the game. Oh, no, excuse me. I had seen the Broncos tie up the game, and my friends were saying, oh, overtime, here we come, overtime, here we come. I said it, even with that little amount of time, I said it's not going into overtime. And sure enough, I was right. So there's that. There goes the NFL scores, NFL basketball. Baseball is coming up on postseason. I don't really have any predictions right now. I've gotta catch back up on my baseball because I do love baseball, but I just haven't been paying that much attention. As far as college goes, college football, my favorite team, University of Florida, Florida Gators. So far, so good. 2-0 going against Kentucky. It'll be interesting. It'll definitely be a defensive game, so we'll see who comes out on that. For college football, it's really interesting. Oregon's already lost, so you can count them out. But if I'm not mistaken, Ohio State had a loss last year, so who knows? I personally think in college football, it's better to get, if you have one loss, have it be early in the year rather than later, and have it actually be against a legitimate opponent like they did with Michigan State. Now, I was given the suggestion of the Mayweather fight. I think boxing's kind of on a decline. I've heard some good things about boxing and heard some good names in the ranks coming up, but the names you know are old, and I don't know. Either you're a boxing fan or you just listen when it's a huge fight and you just want to see someone get knocked out. But I think that Mayweather's not done. I don't think he's done. It's one thing to match a record. It's another thing to own the record. And I think he knows that. But I don't think he'll be back. And I think it just has to be something big enough to make him come back. Kind of like a Pacquiao. Another Pacquiao fight might really not be big enough for him. Oscar De La Hoya coming out of retirement. That'd be interesting if Oscar didn't just be whatever. The thing about Floyd is Floyd grew. He grew up as a boxer. He became defensive. He became a defensive boxer, and that's why you got the fight you got with Pacquiao. If you watch the last couple of fights with Mayweather, you know he wasn't going for a knockout. He wasn't going to be extra aggressive and extra offensive. He's not that kind of boxer. He's a defensive boxer. So when everyone was complaining about the fight, I told him, what'd you expect? If you know about boxing, then you should know that. But not everybody knows about boxing. I think that Floyd will definitely be back for one more and only one more. After that, he will be absolutely done. Will he win that fight? We'll see. That's really to be seen. But I understand the pick of Berto. It was a safe choice. You're going for a record. You're not gonna go find somebody crazy big and try and do something extra and go out of your comfort zone. It makes sense. If you were in his shoes, you probably do the same thing. But you might not. That's on you. I think boxing overall is kind of, the reason why I think it's dying is because you don't really hear any big names anymore with boxing. The last couple big names I've really heard are Pacquiao, Mayweather, the Klitschko brothers. One of the Klitschko brothers is retired. The other one's just dominating. GGG, I've heard about. He's pretty good. Like I said, there's a couple of good young names that if you keep up with boxing, you understand and you know what's going on. But it's really if you really keep up. If you don't really keep up, then you're not going to know all these names. Now, another sport, tennis. Serena really lost. I was actually very shocked and disappointed to hear about Serena's loss. But it was a good story in the end. I'm not sure how you pronounce her name, but the woman who did win the US Open retired right after, retired on top. I can respect that. That's all the sports. Golf. Tiger just had another back surgery. I don't think I don't know. I don't know about Tiger. I've been giving him the benefit of the doubt, saying Tiger can come back, Tiger can do this, Tiger can do that, but I just don't know if Tiger can do it anymore. And I don't know if it's. I imagine that it's really mental, and he has to really mentally become that beast again. But I don't know if he can do that. So, with that being said, I think I've covered everything. I think I've gotten everything out of the way. Drop some suggestions for me, because I was suggested the Mayweather fight, and that was the main topic that I really confronted, even though it was a little confrontation. So drop some suggestions, and I'll talk about it. Let it be sports related. It can be politics related. If you really want me to just talk about a subject, I will talk about that subject if you give me the subject. So give me a subject to talk about. That'll be episode 3. I will try and have every episode every Thursday, but this past Thursday was hectic. So Saturday it is. I will try and have these every Thursday. I will try my hardest every Thursday. Fresh cut. Ooh. Okay, I'm sorry. But every Thursday I will try and have these up and processed and uploaded, because that takes forever for whatever reason. But I think it's about time to wrap this up. Like, comment, suggestions, subscribe, share this with your friends, share this with your people. Let's try and get this big. This is Damien signing off for King's Eye View, episode 2. Peace.